At what point did you feel the need to stop being a performer?
I just paused for a second and I asked myself, I said, why am I trying to constantly go away?
What would you tell this upcoming generation of dancers?
So without knowing the process, don't question it. And like you spoke about mindset, I think...
Hi, this is Gopal Agarwal, the founder and artistic director of DANCEINC.INDIA. Welcome to the Sync and Shimmy Podcast, Season 2. And this is a podcast where we get artists to help you find your direction in your life. With me is my co-host for today, Ananya Jain, who is also the curator for Sync and Shimmy Performing Arts Evening. यहाँ पे आपको सब मिलेगा, मसाला, guidance, direction, and a lot of fun. So Ananya, are we ready to introduce the guest for today?
Yes, for sure. For today, our guest is the artistic director and founder of the Movement Hub Studio in Mumbai, Kunal Sangtani.
Woo! Hi Kunal.
Welcome.
Hello. Very well, very well.
How are you feeling right now?
Tired वैसे after the first 2 days, but excited, happy to do this podcast.
Great. So आज हम बात करने वाले हैं since you own a studio space in
Yes.
Mumbai.
Yes.
And we all know Mumbai is the maximum city or the financial capital and also extracts you financially as
Correct.
well. So आज का जो topic है वो हम बात करने वाले हैं the business of art.
Okay.
Basically entrepreneurship vis-a-vis art world, right?
Sure.
Since you come from both,
Yeah.
so I think you would be the perfect person to enlighten us with this particular topic. So let's dive right into it.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Let's
my
go.
first question to you is,
Okay.
at what point did you feel the need to stop being a performer and get into this entire idea of owning a studio space?
So I'll tell you what, it's difficult to pinpoint the exact point, but at around the age of 22, 23, I remember I was training in Leeds, then I went to Israel, then I got into like a massive project in Venice, and then my visa got rejected. Then my visa got rejected again. Then COVID happened. And I just paused for a second and I asked myself, I said, why am I trying to constantly go away?
Yeah.
Right? I feel like when I see myself or when I'm dancing abroad with other dancers, I feel at par, I feel great, I feel, I feel really good about where I've come with my craft. And when I sat down to really think about कि मुझे आगे क्या करना है, I said this in class also, if there is a priority list, teaching is not number one for me, it's above the priority list.
Right.
So when it comes to sharing and imparting knowledge, I always knew that that is something that I enjoy doing. I enjoy not just changing myself, but also seeing people evolve and change. So when I really sat down to ask myself this question, कि validation important है, कि बाहर जाके मैं company में नाच रहा हूँ, which is great for people, or do I really want to introduce something here where we can start to build a little openness towards dance?
Correct.
And I think I had the answer. I think I said, okay, I want to build something. I was only 24 when I thought about this.
My God.
Yeah, and I was like, the first thing I wanted to do is just register the company. So I have a commitment.
Whoa.
So I just registered the company. It was the 26th of December 2019.
My
Whoa.
God.
When I registered, I was like, कि अब पता नहीं कि आगे क्या करना है. Let's just sign the company up. It took me 6 months to figure out, what I wanted to call it, all of those things. And I mean, once I was sure कि okay, this is the right name, this is what feels good, I just registered the company.
So this company is with it's under your name. It's a sole proprietorship, or
Yes.
how does it work? It's a sole proprietorship.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Wow, great. So I have a follow-up question for you.
बोलो.
Why did you name your studio the Movement Hub?
So you said ना Bombay is the financial capital, or it's the it city. तो बॉम्बे के it city में ना बहुत ही competitive dance scenario है. I also, as a dancer personally, I don't resonate with any specific style too much. Of course, the work I'm creating now is very contemporary in nature, but even if you watch my solo, there was an Afro groove in the middle.
Yeah.
So you don't like to define it in one
And I think dance has been defined over the years by people and their perspectives,
Fair enough.
and in some good ways, in some bad ways, right? Because when I wanted to formulate a style of my own, I gave it a name.
Yeah.
For example, that's for someone became jazz funk, for
Correct.
someone became crump, for
Yeah.
someone became well, breaking to bahut purana hai, but you know what I mean,
Yeah.
locking and popping, and there's just certain textures and certain movement qualities that became a form.
Correct.
And that was not made to sort of like say, hey, we are independent and you are not part of it. It was just made to say we have an identity
Right.
and we are poppers, we enjoy popping. So I feel like मैं सभी कर लेता हूँ. And I personally felt like a hub of movement, and that's all I wanted to define myself as. And then that's the simpler way to say it. Ki I wanted to just build a space where people didn't really think about, do I belong here, when they read the name, or like, oh shit, can I go there? I wanted everyone to feel welcome. And the reason we called it a hub is because I think we want to try and create a space that's comfortable, that's chill. People, I've seen so many dancers over the years like take dance so seriously after a point.
Right.
And of course, training is serious. But we don't start training because we are like, oh, हमें serious training में जाना है. There is a love and there is a passion associated with it that brings us to that training ground, ना? तो मुझे वो जो feeling of love and passion है, I wanted to keep it alive, and I thought the hub is a great way to just say, hey, come here and just start your journey.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So the hub is the extension of your personal hub within you.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, let's get on to the more juicier part from the audience's perspective, which nobody talks about, and that is paisa.
Yes.
Paisa.
Yeah, the paisa of art. So what nobody talks about is we romanticize art so much. We're like, artists need passion, artists need love, artists need money.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like we don't talk about that often. And you have a space that of course you need to pay the bills for. Question is, कैसे manage होता है that love for art and running a business in this field?
तो आपको ना फर्स्टली आपके करियर ट्रेजेक्टरी में आपको ये समझना पड़ता है कि आपका जर्नी है, वो किसी और के जर्नी से कंपैरेटिव नहीं है. Why I'm saying this is because when you start a studio or you start a space, around you you'll see a lot of other independent artists who are creating their own work, who are putting these high production value videos. You have to firstly be okay with the step back and say, hey, this is new like anything else. This is my baby. It needs nurturing right now.
Correct.
And it's okay for a year if I don't party and showcase myself. So that's the first decision you need to be okay with, saying my journey is not a comparative journey. My journey is independent. My journey is for me and for the other people that I'm trying to build it for.
Fair enough.
So that is number one. That's how I sort of rationalize the thought in my head. When it comes to sort of the financial aspect of running the studio, what we did from a very logical perspective is that we started first with building classes outside the studio, like in other studios, where we were paying rent, hourly rent, saying, okay, we will build this class, we will build this system, we'll build this culture, we'll build this community first. We built about 8 or 9 batches with 10, 12 people each, which is now close to 100 people community. So when you start that, then you know that, okay, if I move into a space, of course there is going to be a risk associated, but what all am I already able to offer to that space? Now, we work at the Movement Hub as a company. We work on weddings, we do Sangeet work, we do corporate events, we do a lot of music video and ad film, because Bombay luckily is a space for that. So
industry is
and once you realize over a few years that, okay, this is sort of now consistent, I'm doing 6 to 8 ads, 2 music videos, 3 music videos a year, there are about 8 to 10 weddings, there's whatever happens, you put 2 and 2 together and say, okay, if I need to take my life further ahead, and sharing and seeing people grow is a part of that journey, then I have to invest in that journey. You know, and initially, I won't lie to you, especially because I'm a dancer opening a dance studio, the investment is very heavy because, Abhi, for example, the flooring that we have done at the space, I refuse to do anything below international standards. So I was like, the floor I danced in the UK, I want that floor in Bombay.
Oh.
Now, to do that is a bit stupid because you're the only one who recognizes it. And they're like, मुझे पता है कि मैं नाच रहा हूँ उस पे, you know. But then there are other dancers who come in and they're like, but you have some people who realize they take a step on the floor and they're like, no, Kunal. I was like, yes. They're like, no. And I'm like, yes. You know. But that feeling for me as a dancer is so important. You know, I have injured myself so much dancing on terrible floor, like through the years. कुछ भी मिला आप कहीं पे भी कोई भी studio use कर रहे हो, and of course you don't expect those studios to manage that, right? So yeah, I mean, I've made these investments and you have to diversify the work. Like I said, you know, कि हम weddings भी करते हैं, हम events भी करते हैं, हम ads भी करते हैं. We are also teaching at schools now. So we are in 3 schools. We teach at JBC and International, 2 different branches, and we also are faculty at the American School of Bombay.
Oh, nice.
So because we've diversified the work so much, you sort of put 2 and 2 together and you have to make the math work. Besides that, I don't use any, I don't leave any platform when I have to speak about this. My students are everything. They really make this company work. If I today am sitting here right now in Ahmedabad and I just put a message on one group saying, guys, the studio needs help, and I don't have that large a team, we're like 4 or 5 of us, मेरे 15 student निकल के चले जाएंगे, you know, कि करना क्या है बताओ तो, you know. So, and I feel like they see it, you know, when things are not going well in the studio, when numbers will drop, because that happens, right? In Bombay, everything is so workshop oriented today.
Correct.
You know, everyone wants to do a quick workshop, and most studios are actually now following that model.
Yeah.
Saying only workshops.
Yeah.
Monday be workshop, Tuesday be workshop, Wednesday be workshop. Not just weekends. It started with the weekend thing, right?
Yeah.
But now my studio, my students sort of like see that, ki, okay, you know, we need to push, and you'll automatically see. I remember one of my students, it was her birthday, and she's not from Bombay, working a job. Their friends had managed to go to dinner. She's made all of them record saying classes are starting, and then nothing. I had not had any conversation with her.
Oh, that's so
You
sweet.
know?
I think that's the goodwill also that you create as an entrepreneur, which is also more than any financial asset that you have, is your goodwill asset that you make. So I think that's wonderful.
That is amazing.
But diversifying is important. I feel like, because it's not just you that you have to feed. We spoke about dancers, artists being paid, right? Like art is of course love, passion, all of those things. But I try and make sure that even the youngest member of my team gets some exposure to the work. But that exposure is exposure for growth. They still get paid. Even if it's a small amount, even if it's something, because I feel like encouraging the younger generation to know that, hey, there is still a future in this. You can do this is super important.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's
Okay, that is great. Following up on whatever you've told us just now, you have such an authoritative presence to you. You own a studio to yourself. There are times that it becomes very difficult for you to, keep that authoritative side alive, at the same time going back to your roots and also evolving as an artistic dancer as well. How do you balance the both?
It's honestly very tough, but I think time management is very key. As a dancer who's now I'm going into my 15th or 16th year now as a dancer, which is insane, but there are certain things that in your initial years, if you do right, then your body sort of retains that information. So you can always come back to it. And it's with a body, it's always a fight, right? Okay, today I'm feeling stronger, but I'm not feeling as open. Today I'm feeling open, but I'm feeling a little weak. Today I feel like my body is together. Today I feel very disconnected. Every day is like different. So I sort of assess those days and now take my time to figure out what I need to do on every single day. The only way to approach it is singularity. Like, okay, today is let's say Monday. Today I have time to work on ABC things, so I will do it. That is one when it comes to a dancer, right? That's how I approach it. And one thing that I've included that I must say to every dancer is, कुछ भी कर लो, कितना भी dance train कर लो, please workout करना start कर लो.
Yeah.
To protect your body from a strength perspective, will just give you longevity and it will give you safety when you dance. So even if you are pushing beyond a point, you're not feeling like shit, I'm going to break something or I'm going to pull something. All of those feelings reduce. So I try and do that, strength train a lot. It also is a good break from the studio, you know, to go to the gym and just be like, okay, for 1 hour, I'm not theirs. I am mine.
Yeah.
That's so important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
and
actually
that's my space. You know, I don't like. I love the gym. I really enjoy it. From a creative perspective, it does honestly take a setback. At least in the first year, it has.
Yeah.
But then again, Abhivyakti happened, you know, and I was forced to sort of let everything take a step back and say, this is my priority now. This is my word, and I want to say it. And yeah, I think that's for me been a highlight of the year, that I was able to do both in the same year. You know, we were able to open a studio, put up a production, travel to teach at a festival, do a couple of music videos all in the same year. And kudos to my team and everyone who just understands. I do have my mood swings, you'll see it. You know, suddenly I'm entering the studio like, and I keep telling my team, right, carry high energy, you know, always be positive in the studio. Yeah. And you do break down a lot of times. I don't do it in front of them, but I break down. You will have a moment where crying is so important. I feel like बहुत important है कि आप उसको जाने दो. And I do it because, again, I've just been blessed with a very supportive system. My parents are ridiculously supportive. If I go and tell them that I can't do this, they'll be like, if anybody can do this, it's you. That's the response I get.
That's so sweet.
You know, so
and that's so important.
So
I
important.
feel that for a studio owner,
yeah,
for you to have that kind of support system,
yeah,
where you know your parents just push you through when you don't believe in yourself, they believe in you.
yeah,
Correct.
You know, there are some days where you don't believe in yourself and you say that okay, maybe not.
yeah.
And then they tell you that okay, no, if somebody can do it, it's you.
Yeah.
That's just so important that somebody's there to pick you up on those low days.
Yeah. So, I mean, I keep saying my parents did support me, but you have to earn that respect. You have to first believe in yourself and you have to put in the effort and really show to not just them but yourself that you can actually do this. And I think when that changes, when that translates in you as a belief, it's visible in your eyes. And when it is that visible and you're actually going out and making things happen, then why would they not support you?
True.
You know?
True.
So I think you have to earn it.
So when they see that kind of respect, goodwill,
Yeah.
and of course a certain amount of money also coming in,
Yes,
I feel
yes.
that they respect your work even further.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I mean, moving on towards the end of today's session, I want to ask you this one last question.
Yes.
Since you deal with a lot of students and then eventually who become a part of that, for the lack of a better word, that inner circle where you know they want to take this seriously and they want to take this further with your studio, with you know, teaching the next generation and so on and so forth. What would you tell this upcoming generation of dancers that what matters the most? Is it the mindset? Is it the money? Is it the vision? Is it the passion? What is it that they should put on their priority list first?
Wow, couple of things. Firstly, I know dance has now become like a popularity commodity, right? It's like, hey, I will be popular if I dance. Not the right reason to take it up as a profession. So do it for fun. I mean, we can't stop what the world is evolving. Instagram is getting popular, and that's how it is. वो करो, but अगर आपको professionally करना है, don't mistake in the two is my question, my sort of like advice. Do it for the right reasons. Do it because you know what you want out of it. I think that's a very important thing to do. So whenever somebody new comes into the team, we sort of like sit with a vision board, starting with like a 5-year plan. And when I say 5 years, they're like, sir, itna time? I was like, you want to do this for life, right?
Yeah.
So then we go 5, 3, 1, 6 months.
Oh, nice.
So we go backward.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and then you're like, okay, I need to do this in 6 months. And that's like point 1.
Correct.
But your 6-month plan should be linked back to what you really see yourself in 5 years. And if you cannot see, then you should question that before starting. Because the journey that seems fun and games on the outside, initially it's hard. you have to mold your body into something, and to do it at an age of like 18 and 19 when your body has already built a certain structure is difficult.
Correct.
And it's going to take some work.
Yeah.
So to the younger generation, I would just advise that firstly, please do it for the right reasons. Please trust the people who've already done it. Please trust the process. If you keep questioning the process before knowing it, and it's nice to be curious, but it's like, for example, if I go into like a master class, like a baking master class, and I'm first only asking myself, नहीं मैदा क्यों नहीं डाला, आपने कोको क्यों डाला, नहीं बट शक्कर डालो ना, अब मुझे पता ही नहीं ना वो क्या करने की कोशिश कर रहा है. अगर मैंने 4 बार कर लिया and I learn it, and then I see him do something different, then I can say, chef, why have you done this differently?
Correct.
Right? But I got to know the process first. So without knowing the process, don't question it. And like you spoke about mindset, I think all of these things, vision boarding things. When it comes to a dancer, dance is one aspect of dance. But communication is super key. Because in most areas of dance, whether you're running a studio, whether you're teaching a class, whether you're building a client base, whether you're doing a wedding, you're going to always have to communicate with people.
Right.
So to be okay to sort of like at any stage, right, to work on yourself as a human being, because what you're presenting to the world is you.
Yeah.
For them to even want to see your craft, they should first want to see your craft.
Correct.
And for that, you really need to work on your communication skills. I'm a huge sort of believer on that. And there are like, I make these small, like I'm a little finicky like that. When you start training with me, it comes with like a little bit of a warning saying, I will be a little nitpicky initially. When you speak to somebody else in the room saying, hey, give that no, I will be like, hey, I think you can communicate this better, maybe you can request them saying, hey, please, can you pass that to me? And that's an important skill to build. And sometimes it's difficult, right? Because to tell a 19-year-old, 20-year-old saying, can you communicate that better? They're like, excuse me?
Yeah. They take it on their ego first.
Which is okay, but if they have that vision board, right, कि 5 साल बाद ये करना है और मुझे process trust करना है, तो I can make them believe that ये तेरे 5 साल की goal के लिए important है, तू मुझे trust कर, मैं ये तेरे better के लिए बोल रहा हूँ.
Right.
So so that's how it builds, I feel. Yeah.
That's amazing.
The one thing that we both had in mind before we started this podcast is to ask you this question.
हाँ.
Since we are talking about the business of art, how important is a CA for us movement studio?
Dude, it's very. I actually had a little situation before I came here.
Oh. Please share.
I will share.
That's
It's a little controversial, but I will share. So apparently आप GST जब फाइल करते हो तो 11 तारीख के पहले फाइलिंग और 20 तारीख के पहले पेमेंट, ऐसा कुछ सिस्टम है. ये भी मेरे लिए नया इन्फॉर्मेशन है, ठीक है. मुझे क्या पता?
Yeah, I have been grappling with this for the last 4 years.
Yeah, this is my first year. Okay, so we were not all GST compliant and everything. Now we are, which is signs of progress. But now some invoices had to be sent, which I of course made some rubbish invoice, which I didn't know how to do. Na official GST tax invoice.
Correct.
And I of course didn't ask for help because suck कर लेंगे हम, So and my CA suddenly disappeared in November or December. Okay. Now, Abhivyakti, all of these payments came, and it was a good month. Let's just say whatever. I did a nice AR Rahman shoot, all of those things happened. And then suddenly, on the 9th of Feb, now my rent is due before the 10th. Okay, so my place is on lease. I have not bought the place out. So monthly, I pay the landlord rent, which in my studio is in the heart of Bandra. Okay,
Right.
like it's on Linking Road opposite KFC. It's whatever you want to assume the rent is, it's more than that.
It costs a bomb.
Yeah. Then there are, like you said, fixed expenses. Electricity bill was high because December maybe did some parties, all of those things. There was a point where I don't know if this is a big amount for anyone, but I had to shell out in a day and a half and legal money. बैंक अकाउंट में उतना होना चाहिए था. Almost 6.5 lakh rupees.
Oh my god.
And
6.5 lakh.
my response to, and I had 1 day.
Oh my god.
Okay, 1 day. Because I could have delayed the rent to the landlord, but I didn't want to build that relationship. Right?
Fair
And I've never delayed till now. We've all been doing well. But when somebody turns around and says, Kunal, आज सब payment करना है, I was like, आज कैसे होगा payment? आज तो नहीं हो सकता. अगर आपके पास बैंक स्टेटमेंट देख लो उतना है ही नहीं.
Oh god. Yeah.
So I just again, my mom, I just called her. I was like, what do I do? Like, I have no idea. And then we had a meeting with the CA and we sort of like clarified something, saying, listen, like, you need to be talking to me because my month runs, right? I'm working on registration, students, choreography, shows. You need to call me and be persistent about this, saying you need to submit these invoice bills or whatever. So now he's taken over all billing. I was like, so important. And of course, we navigated through the situation, but those are the days when you sit back and you're like, I don't think I can do this, you know? And then you take a day to say, I don't have a choice. And I, again, here my team is like, I sat them down. I was like, there's super transparency in the studio, like 150% transparency. I sat them down. I was like, guys, we're a little screwed. Please pray to God. We'll get out of this. But can you please hold back for 5 days more for your payments, or whatever, 7 days more. I'll work on it. And यहाँ पे वो question ही arise नहीं होता है कि कोई मना करे. They're just like, by default, I didn't do anything. There are of course some pending payments at the studio, right? किसी ने book किया. We are such a chill space that this happens quite often, which we need to change.
Oh shit.
Yeah. कि कोई आया, किसी ने studio book किया, ठीक है, we'll take the payment. Now this happens with 15 people, it's hard to follow up, right?
True, yes.
But that day, I am sitting in front of my phone and back-to-back payments are coming.
Whoa.
Okay? Because my team was just like, what can we do? We cannot contribute the amount, but we can close this gap. So everybody was just like, and all I wrote on the group, I was like, just thank you guys. मैंने कुछ बात ही नहीं किया. Like, I just told them this is the situation. I'm trying my best. 2 days I'm not going to be available mentally at the studio. I just need to get out of this. And yeah, I'm here now in a little better space. We got out. So, वो है कि you don't give yourself a choice, and also you have such a strong support system behind you. It always helps.
True.
But CA रख लो और please 11th GST filing date, 20th के पहले payment, please.
Yes.
ये भूलना नहीं, penalty लगता है.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy for sure.
Oh, I see such a reflection.
Literally.
Every word you're speaking is like, I was exactly there literally during the COVID time, because that is when we completed our 5 years at dancing.
Yeah.
So I was exactly in that space, and it's just so important to talk about these things, because otherwise we have just romanticized art so much that nobody talks about the practical aspects and the practical difficulties of having a space for artists and for students. But nobody talks about the finances. You need to know your accounts and GST filing and all of those.
I'm still learning. I have no idea. I don't like doing it also because like we're all hard first,
100%.
But मैं सीख रहा हूँ कि sometimes you have to be like, hey, sorry, due date passed. Please make payment. वो करना पड़ता है.
That's very important though.
very
Stern is very important with payments.
Yeah.
Because art does get taken for granted a lot of times.
Yeah, and I think being stern, I mean, I just asked my team one follow-up question. I said, आप जब कोई स्टूडियो में जाते हो, before movement hub, आपको क्लास एंटर करने से पहले कोई बोलता है, of course बोलता है ना दरवाजे पे कि please
make the payment.
And you also just do it, right? You don't think.
True.
Of course, you're entering a space.
Yeah.
That space is I am to paying for it anyway, na?
Yeah.
So that is not. It's being stern is also not like.
It's just being reasonable.
You go to a shop. You can't say आज खाना दे दे. I'll pay you 3 days later, right? वो नहीं होता. You have
You're
to
providing
pay.
a service.
Correct.
So you get paid for providing that service.
Exactly.
Keyword you're being right there and then.
Right there and then, yes.
Exactly.
There is no credit in the service.
No.
Exactly.
If you're taking the service, then
Yeah.
you pay them. So.
But I just want to say, side note, before, I don't know if we're closing the podcast or not, but I just want to say that through this Moving Bridges initiative, which of course, like the moment you called, I was like, let's do it, because like I said, we connect on that level, that we understand why we're doing it, and it's beyond breaking it down financially and saying, oh, this, that. Right now it's an exchange that will add value to all of us. but I have just learned a lot about running a space by being here. I think you guys are doing a really, really good job, and you have a very, very good team.
Go Gopal sir.
And the team is always a reflection of the people who are sort of like at the forefront of the team. So it's just been like I called my team twice in the last 2 days, and I was like, guys, we have a lot of work to do if we want to be like a functional studio. And even the way you guys have managed to promote and push the classes, and just everything around our experience here has been absolutely amazing, and I'm super grateful, and not just for the classes but for the learning that I'm taking back. So thank you.
Thank you. So, for those who don't know, Moving Bridges is a collaboration, a dance exchange between these three entities, of which one is the Movement Hub, the founder of which is our guest today. The second guest who's going to be in our next podcast is going to be the founder of Takitako, Pooja Radhakrishnan. And so the Moving Bridges is a collaborative effort between the Movement Hub, Takitako, and DANCEINC India, where Pooja and Kunal, they are at DANCEINC India at this point of time, flown all the way from Mumbai to take classes, master classes, professional classes, Sync and Shimmy performance, and this podcast. And in the next phase of Moving Bridges, our team is going to be in Mumbai taking a similar setup at the Movement Hub studio. And it's going to be a ride. And it has been a ride so far. And we are just so amazed by what you guys have brought into DANCEINC India with your expertise. And it just goes to say that artists need artists to thrive. So with that, we come to the end of today's podcast. It has been such a pleasure to have you, Kunal.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Happy to be here. Happy to do this.
Yay. So if you haven't subscribed yet to our channel, get on to DANCEINC India's channel and follow us on Instagram at DANCEINC Social and Sync and Shimmy. Like this video, subscribe and comment if you like it. Thank you.
Bye bye guys.